Hello and welcome to today's podcast, Alternative Living Chats. Today I had the pleasure of chatting to Wendy Evans, who lives at Mercia Marina along with her husband and the beautiful Kenneth. They also have a YouTube channel called Love Life Triumph, which when I introduced Wendy, I incorrectly said the wrong name. Anyway, I hope you enjoy today's chat, and don't forget you can join me if you send me an email or drop me a message on my social media, because I'd love to chat to other people that either live on narrowboats or live in the vans or in a tiny house. It's just anything that's alternative. You can send me an email at nevertoolateourjourney@gmail.com. And remember, the 2 is spelled TWO. Thank you very much. Hi, and welcome to today's podcast. And I'm very, very lucky to have Mrs. B with us, who lots and lots of people will know from Live Life Triumph and their YouTube channel. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, and we'll have a chat.
Okay, well, I'm Wendy Evans, and we've got a YouTube channel, as Maxine said, called Love Life Triumph. We've had this channel from about 2016. And we originally started the channel as motorbikes, hence the name, because we love life and we had a Triumph motorbike. And we toured around Europe and went through Austria, Germany, France, Luxembourg, all over on the bike. And it was my husband, Mr. B, who suddenly said, why don't we vlog this? There's lots of vlogs out there, come on, we can do this. And I was a little bit apprehensive at first. So we spent ages coming up with a name for the channel. And it just sort of fell together, oh, we love life. Oh, we love life. Love Life Triumph. Excellent. And a lot of people say, how come you called Mr. and Mrs. B when you're actually called Mr. and Mrs. Evans?
Yeah.
And that came about. We had a few years ago, we had, and I'm going to sound very knowledgeable about motorbikes here, and I'm not, believe me, I'm a pillion rider. But we had a Triumph Bonneville T120 Black.
Yep.
Which was a pretty gorgeous bike. And we went down to Cheddar Gorge and we were sat there having a picnic, having just come through Cheddar Gorge. And I said, oh, pass me the flask, Mr. B. And he said, Mr. B. And I said, Mr. Bonneville. And so he said, okay, Mrs. Bonneville. So that's why we're Mr. and Mrs. Bonneville, not that we're actually called that, although it would be very nice. It's quite a glamorous name.
It's not bad at all.
So that's how it all started with the vlog side of things, with motorbikes. But of course, we've got a beautiful dog now, so we can't go motorbiking. Yeah. And as far as getting the boat and beginning our life as boaters, although we call ourselves floaters, not boaters, because we don't. It started in April 2020 during the pandemic, and I think a lot of people took stock of their life. Suddenly thought, wait a minute, I'm spending all this time at work, and could I spend more time? Should I do this? Should I do that? So my husband, just suddenly out of the blue, said, why don't we sell the house and buy a boat? Having never set foot on a boat in our lives before.
Wow.
Not children, I don't even, apart from the long dinghy that we had at the seaside, never. So I'm joking, I thought it's a midlife crisis. He was at that certain age. And then he started showing me vlogs. And the first vlog he showed me was a vlog called We're on the Move. Oh. A couple that have got a wide beam boat. So I was from that set of people that thought if you live on a boat, it's got oars and, and you can't do an awful lot on a boat. And he was saying, but look, and I said, you can have a shower on a boat. You can cook on a boat. And of course, he's impressing me with this beautiful wide beam boat and all the things that you can do and the sofas you can put in there and everything. I'm thinking, well, this looks lovely. It's like a bungalow. It won't be too bad. And then, of course, we started then looking at the narrow boats and where we could go. And we planned to travel all over the place. We bought all these books and we're mapping out all these different. And I think the furthest we've got in the 2 years that we've been on the boat is to the fuel at the marina and back again. But we just love life on a boat. We just really love, and on a marina. which is for us because it's a lovely community. So we did go and buy a boat. We did sell the house, and funnily enough, we actually sold the house to our next door neighbour.
Oh, did you?
I know. If everybody could do that, it would save a hell of a lot of time and money. We just had quite a bit of work done on the house, a new kitchen, a new bathroom, and my neighbour said, when we said to everybody, "Oh, we're going to go and live on a boat," and you'll be the same, Maxine. People go, "You're living on a boat?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I've just been promoted, and I've always loved your house. Could I buy it?" And we said, "Of course you can." And so she actually was very fortunate, because if you're going to buy a house from somebody, buy it from someone who's going to move on to a boat, because you don't need anything.
No, that's it.
So we left her everything. We left her. We said, you can have the table and chairs, have the sofa. We even left a wood in a little box for the wood burn, because we knew that the boat going on was going to be a diesel one. So we left. All she had to bring with her was a duvet cover and a bedding and a few towels. And even left all stuff and thing. So that worked out really well. We sold the house, and that went through really smoothly, which was great. And on the narrowboat we went, and it was a 57-foot narrowboat, and it was an ex-demo, so it was new to us, and it was a Tyler Wilson hull. Well, being a Sheffield lass is where Tyler Wilson's made, you see.
Yeah.
And so obviously, I think that's the best hull you can possibly have. We ventured onto this 57-foot narrowboat onto Mercia Marina in October, in the middle of winter and in the middle of a pandemic, knowing absolutely nothing about boats, nothing. And it was just, it was a real eye-opener. But the nice thing, and you'll agree with this, Maxine, being a boater yourself, everybody just mucked in. Everybody. We just, what is this for? How do we do this? Oh, go and ask Colin, he'll be able to show you that. Go and ask Davey, he's got something of this. So eventually we got to a point where we actually felt like we knew what we were doing. It took a few months, but what a buzz that was. Oh, it was just amazing, absolutely. And still loving it.
That's good. Did you look at lots of marinas before? Because obviously you hadn't you didn't know about boating or anything. I just wondered, you didn't just choose one and that was it?
No, we actually went to quite a few. And as soon as we came to Mercia, we looked at 4 prior to Mercia. And then we came to Mercia Marina, and we suddenly went, "Oh, this is it. This is the one." You know, it's like when you buy your first house and you walk through the door and you go, "This is it. This is the one." And we came to Mercia Marina, and it got everything we wanted. So you've got shops here, and you've got a community here, and you've got quiz nights and bingo nights and all that sort of stuff. So for us, it was a no-brainer. And we actually came back 5 times just to make it was a very big deal. Yeah, we had to be 100% sure. And we were when we went in the office, we just said, "Look, we really, really are looking for a boat. We really would love to live here." And they gave us the key and said, "You're fine. Have a walk around. Obviously, don't go onto the pontoons. Just walk around and have a look." And me and Darren, we were like going, "Oh, look at that. Look at those trees. Look at those flowers. There's gardeners here, and they keep it beautiful. So it's immaculate." So in love with this. That was it. After we looked at 4, and then we came back here 5 times. But in between that 5 times, we went to look at a few other ones as well. But our hearts are here, definitely.
It is. I must admit, we've been, because obviously our boat was fitted out not far from you, so we used to walk down, and it's a lovely marina, and there's plenty to do, and especially because you're living there as well. So you've got that opportunity as well, haven't you? So you've got pick things around you, so you haven't got to find anything extra as well, which is good.
If you wanted to, you could actually just stay on the marina and not move. We've got a general store here that sells just about everything. You've got a pub, which is obviously very important.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've got a lovely Indian restaurant. You've got things that if you wanted to, you could just literally stay on the marina. I mean, we like to go about, but if that's what you wanted, you could just stay here and not move.
That's brilliant. So obviously you had a while on your narrowboat, and then you decided to upgrade to your beautiful Y-beam.
Well, so we had a narrowboat, and we'd intended to go off all over the place. We were going to go do the Llangollen, we were going to go here, and we didn't. And we just thought, we've got that adventure in us because we did the motorcycling, so we bound to be flying off everywhere, and we just didn't. Darren still works, He's fortunate that he works in an environment where he can use the computer to work, so he can work from the boat. And we just needed really good internet access. So a little bit of it, that's not the main excuse, but we thought, if he's in the middle of a meeting and the internet suddenly goes, what happens there? So we were a little bit concerned about that. And that then became, well, we actually just enjoyed just floating. And it was amazing how many people said, when are you going to go out? And we kept saying, when are you going to go out? You're on a boat. Why aren't you going to go out on the boat? I wish I got £1 for every time somebody asked. We kept saying, nope, we don't need any fuel, so we're not going to go and fill up, because that's what we do. So we bought the narrowboat intending to go off and sail off into the sunset, but we never did. And our plan originally was to have the narrowboat, go and do a few, trips out and things, and then about 5 years' time to get a wide beam and sort of settle down. And the boat that we're on now, which is called Ciao Bella, and she's a 70-foot by 12'3" wide beam. She came onto the market at a really good price. The mooring that we really wanted to get was available. And the price of the narrowboats, as you all know, Maxine, when you buy a narrowboat in the olden days, people used to say it's like buying a car, it'll deteriorate. Now they're going for a fortune. So we put our Love Life Triumph on the market, and within weeks she was sold. We were able to buy this white. So all the stars aligned.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, so we didn't wait 5 years, because we thought, well, we're not going to go out. We've decided we'd like to float, so we might as well get this boat that we love in a mooring that we love while we can, and everything's there. So that's why we got the wide beam, and it's lovely. We've enjoyed summer on here because the deck.
That's nice having the decking.
Yeah, and the community that we're on now, because we're still part of the marina. But it's sort of like, I wouldn't say segregated, but it's a bit away from the main part of the marina, because it's just wide beams on this one. So like Wide Beam Alley, But they're lovely folk. They're all great folk. So we're very fortunate that our neighbours are lovely, lovely people, and we love them. So we're really, really enjoying our life now in our floating bungalow.
What would you say has been the most difficult thing to get used to since moving onto a boat? Have you found anything that's, that you found strange or difficult?
Yeah, as daft as it sounds, it's your bathroom habits. The toilet, and I mean, we live on a marina, and but it's sort of like your bathroom habits and being aware of water. We all shouldn't stand there at the sink brushing our teeth with the tap running. We know that. But getting used to doing things like that, and knowing that we're never going to run out of water because we're on a marina, but we still have to get the pipe out and put it in the plug and fill up the tank. And then with the toilet, we take the toilet every 2 weeks, every few days, you're taking the toilet for a walk. And, so that took some getting used to, dealing with things like that. Everything else, we sort of fitted in because, as you know, these boats are like living on land. So we have got a full-size cooker and stuff. Moving a narrowboat took some getting used to as well because of the size. We went from a house to a narrowboat, so that took some getting used to. But I would say definitely it was your bathroom, and realising that, you're using the toilet. Okay, so you're going to have to empty that in the next 2 days. Being aware of the water that you're using. If you want to shower, yes, you can use as much water as you want, but then you're going to have to fill the tank up afterwards. So for me was I suppose the difficult part.
I agree with that. I think that's the two main things. It probably was with everybody else, but I'm exactly the same. Especially having a shower and you automatically switch it off and start lathering yourself up, switch it back on. And it's when you go back into a house, because we stayed at my parents for a couple of nights while we've been in Retford, and I've still gone on to switch it off their shower and thought, oh no, I don't have to. It's getting your head around, isn't it? It is strange.
I visit my family every Thursday because I'm from Sheffield, so it's about 50 miles. So every Thursday I take Kenneth the dog and we go to Sheffield and see my folks and my sister. And my sister's got those lovely standalone baths. And so I go up armed with a bag full of washing because I love to hang it out, so I can hang it out at my. And I usually have a bubble bath as well when so I make use of her bath and her washing line.
Perfect. So you've just mentioned Kenneth. Obviously, he was an addition to your family what is it, about six, no, it must be longer. Was it 8 months, 9 months ago now?
It's 9 months. So he was born on January the 6th, and his gotcha day was March the 13th. So he's 9 months old now. And you might, and I do apologise, but you might just hear him chewing the odd bone. I've given him quite a large not a bone, it's a meaty thing that he's enjoying too much behind me. But I thought I'd better give him something to offer. So yes, so he's a 9-month-old golden retriever. The love of our lives. We absolutely adore him. We've never had a puppy before. And we did try to get a rescue dog. We tried 4 times from different places, but unfortunately the form that you fill in asks you if you've got a secure back garden or a secure area. And we don't have a garden. What we do have is acres and acres of beautiful nature reserve that's gated, but that didn't, we still got, that was a stumbling block for us. So in the end, Darren said, "You're retired, let's get a puppy." So we got a puppy. And people often say, "Why do you call him Kenneth?" Because Kenneth isn't sort of like a doggy name, is it?
No.
And because if you ever meet my husband, which you've met my husband, and somebody said, your husband looks like Tony Maudsley. And I'm thinking, who is Tony Maudsley? So, of course, I Googled him. And if you ever watch Benny Dorm and you look at the hairdresser, Kenneth de Beck, the hairdresser, that's the character that he plays. Well, my husband doesn't look like the character that he plays, but he does look like the actor Tony Maudsley. So Darren said, right, so if ever we get a dog, I'm going to call it Kenneth, after Kenneth de Beck. And that's why we called him Kenneth.
Brilliant. So how's life changed then since you've had Kenneth? Has it changed dramatically, having the puppy?
Absolutely. I mean, we're outdoor people anyway. I think if you live on a boat, you tend to be more outdoorsy because you spend a lot of time off your boat rather than on your boat. And I am very, very fortunate that I have retired. So my morning starts at 7 o'clock. And where we're moored here on the marina, we have probably a 5-10 minute walk, and we're actually onto the canal side, the towpath. So me and Kenneth pop down there and walk along the towpath. And it's amazing when you've got a dog, how many other dog owners that you get to know. All these people I've seen wandering around before I've had Kenneth and just more or less said good morning and smiled. Now we're like old friends. You've both got dogs and they go, morning, morning, Kenneth. And I will always be known as Kenneth's mom. Nobody really knows my name on the towpath, but they know me as, you'll be Mexie's mom, won't you?
That's it. Yeah. It is. Steve's never had a dog before until when we got Mexie, and because we used to go to walking everywhere, and especially up into Yorkshire, and you end up stopping and talking to people they've got the dogs, and you meet so many more people, don't you, when you have a dog?
Absolutely. And on the marina as well. We're a little group now, and sometimes I'll say, because Kenneth's quite a big dog, he's nearly 6 stone now in weight, and he's very high, and he's still got a lot of growing to do. So he's still a puppy, but he's a puppy in a big dog, in a big dog spot. So he wants to play puppy things with puppies, but normal puppies are only little. So there's 1 or 2 dogs on the marina that are big like him. So we coordinate our walks. So I'll say to Bill, who owns Ryder, can you be on the dog walking field about 9:30, and then they can play and we can let them off and they can rough and tumble together. Because otherwise he'd just flatten. If he saw Mexie, he'd love to play with Mexie, but he'd flatten them,
She would play though, because she is, I mean, she's a monster, and she loves all my parents and some other friends have got very big dogs, so she winds them up, and then if she gets scared, she comes and stands in between your legs so that they can't get her. So she will enjoy playing.
Well, she's definitely needs to meet Kenneth. But yeah, he's enhanced our life, Maxine. We love being out anyway, and everything now we do with him in mind. We've recently booked a holiday. I mean, like I said to you before, when we started the motorbike vlogs, we'd go on the Channel Tunnel, and we'd go through Calais and Strasbourg and all over. And we're not going to stop doing that. In fact, we're doing it next year, but we're doing it with Kenneth in a big car rather than on a motorbike. So everything we do, we're looking at dog-friendly cottages, dog-friendly this, and I'm still trying to get my head around what I need to fill in to take him to France next year. That's going to be quite an achievement to get all that done. But yeah, everything now in our lives is ruled around dogs, and luckily all our friends and all my family have all got dogs. So we're on the same boat. Anything we do with our kennel. If we can't take care, then we're not going. That's our attitude.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you, I must admit. And I think more and more places are becoming more aware of and realizing people want to take their dogs everywhere. And there's we've found a lot more places now are becoming dog friendly, which is fantastic. Yeah,
it is. And I think when you live on a boat, your pubs that are around canals and towpaths, if you don't allow a dog in your pub, then you're really missing a trick. Most people on a boat have got a dog or a cat or something, haven't they? But let them bring dogs in, and you'll get a lot in. But most of the pubs do, don't they?
Yeah,
they do around.
Yeah, we've found very, very few, and even some of the restaurants on the canals we've as long as they're well behaved and everything, and it's nice to be able to do that. So yeah,
and a lot of dogs a lot better than a lot of people do, actually.
I was thinking the same. The words right out of my mouth, because that is so true. Because I think you're more aware of them, and you make sure, because you don't want to annoy anybody else, do you? So you make sure that you've got all your treats with them and the toys with them, so they keep them quiet.
Rucksack, and I have everything in there that he could possibly need to keep him occupied. Yeah.
Oh dear me. So do you wish now that you'd done this sooner? Because obviously you've been on the board a couple of years now. Do you think it's something you wish you'd done? Yeah.
A great big yes, Maxine. And absolutely 10 years ago, 15 years ago, definitely. But until April 2020, when Darren suggested it wouldn't have even been in my I didn't really know how many canals there are. I'm a Sheffield girl, born and bred, and I'd never even been to the Sheffield Canal because I didn't really know what it was. And I mean, they're all. I didn't know how beautiful Chesterfield Canal was. That's a beautiful canal. The Peak, I didn't know any of this stuff. So if I'd known, 10 years ago or so, definitely, yeah. I don't. Anybody that says, should we do it, shouldn't we do it? Just do it. Get it done. It's fabulous.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I mean, you can work from a boat quite easily, which people don't think you can do. Or lots of people, when I know when we said we were moving on to a boat, can you do it? Yes, if you want to, you can. I mean, there's lots of people vlogs I watch and everything. They've got cars and they actually physically go out to work and still come back to the boat, don't they?
Correct. Yeah, there's quite a few like that. And Darren, it makes me laugh with Darren because it's like, the drawings that kids used to do, and you draw like a head, and then you'd fold over the piece of paper and pass it to your friend, draw the body, and then the legs. So Darren, sometimes when he's working from the boat, he looks very corporate at the top. So he's got a shirt on and his hair's done, and he looks very smart and very serious. And then if you look from the bottom half of him, he's got his shorts on and his Crocs. And when he sometimes comes out of his little office, which is the bedroom, and he's carrying the iPad. And I know what he's doing. Somebody at work will have said, you don't live on a boat. Show me. And so he'll be walking around the boat going, and here's, the window, and this is the view out of the window. And and he needs internet constantly. And you've got brilliant internet, you can do all the things that you do on land on a boat, can't you?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I've said. Sometimes, you have to alter things slightly and just be aware, like we've said about the water and things. I mean, because I'm obviously on the narrowboat, we've got a smaller cooker, I love cooking, and so the cooker, that was to begin with to get my head round a lot smaller. I mean, on the wide being, you're lucky because you've got very big. You've got normal size cooker, haven't you?
That's right, yeah. But on the narrowboat, like you, we were the same. And you do you're cooking with gas as well. That was another thing. Yeah. And now, and you have to start turning things around in the oven so you don't get a burnt bit one side and not the other. So, but you still, don't you? You soon get the hang of it.
You do. You just adapt to everything. So what would you say is one of the big, main things to tell anybody that's umming and ahhing, or what's the best thing you've found since moving on to a narrowboat? What would you say to a boat?
Right. So for us personally, moving on to this boat, it's given us a whole different outlook. When I open my door in the morning, I'm looking out at the water, the trees, I can hear the geese. I've got wildlife all around me. I'm just immersed in wildlife. And nowadays, doctors and things are saying, if you're stressed, get near water, get near trees, get near greenery, get near, and it really does give a lovely feeling of relaxation. I feel the more relaxed I felt in a long, long time. And that's because of the environment that I'm in. And whether that would be if I was out on the cut, like yourselves, and you open your doors and you're in you're looking at fields and trees and water and stuff. It's the whole environment for me. It makes me feel relaxed and calm and just great. So I would say definitely. And you're always gonna have water around you if you're on a boat.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You're always near water. If you're on a boat, you're going to be near water. And I think it's the most relaxing thing to be on. And especially on a narrow boat, when there's a little bit of a wind and it rocks you, doesn't it? It's like being in a pram or something, or you're a baby again in a cot. So the water and the environment for me that comes with a boat, that's really relaxed. Love it. I'm more laid back. Darren used to call me disgruntled from Sheffield when I lived in Sheffield. I was always doing this and doing that, and I've really relaxed, and it's just the best thing.
That's brilliant. That's really good. So anybody that's wanting to follow you on social media, what's the best way? How can they find you?
Right, you can find us on Twitter, or you can find us on YouTube. We're Love Life Triumph. If you type that in, you will get us. And come along. We do a vlog every Sunday. It's released every Sunday around about 7 o'clock, and it's just our life on the marina, our life on our walks. It involves Kenneth, what we're doing to the boat. We're currently been doing some work on the roof, so there's a little bit of that involved as well. So anybody interested in marina life on a wide beam boat, with two strange folk and a lovely dog called Kenneth, then join us on a Sunday evening.
Definitely. I must admit, we watch most weeks, and we thoroughly enjoy it. So it's definitely worth switching on at 7 o'clock. And I'll put all the details and everything in the description of the podcast, so people can find you as well. So that's been great chatting to you, Wendy, and thank you very much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you. It's been great to speak to you, and I can't wait to see you both again in a few weeks' time, hopefully. And Mexi, of course.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast, and we will be back in 2 weeks' time. And don't forget, if you fancy having a chat with me, drop me a message or drop me an email, and you can find all the details of Wendy's social media and YouTube channel in the description of the podcast, and also all the information regards my books, the Mexi, the Boat Dog Adventures, are in the podcast too. Thank you.